Hey friends, welcome back to the 5-star Showdown series that I'm doing here on my channel. This is where I take 5-star predictions that I've made for myself and pit them against 5-star predictions that you have given to me. If this is your first episode that you are seeing, I'll leave the link to the playlist of the previous episodes down below in the description. But basically, I take 3 books. One that I think that I'm gonna give 5 stars, one book that my patrons think I'll give 5 stars, and then one book that you on YouTube think that I will give 5 stars. They're pitted against each other. There is a point system. I have this bracket thing going on over in my Patreon. It's a big thing. It's a fun time. Regardless, welcome to episode 3. Today we will be reading 2 romances and a literary fiction. First book up on the docket is going to be Role-Playing by Kathy Yardley. The recommendation of role-playing comes from, I would say, one of the most thoughtful recommendations that I received in this search, because Mo Jordan Reads really just like sent me a paragraph of why they think I'm gonna like it. And it says basically that since these 2 main characters are in their 40s, we get to skip sort of like the silly petty drama that sometimes comes with younger romances. They said that there's strong representation and diversity. There's an incredible balance of humor and heavier topics, which obviously, since they're recommending it to me, they know that I like when heavier topics are discussed within a romance book. And what really sold me on this was the fact that our 2 main characters meet in an online gaming guild, and it just is screaming RuneScape. And if you know anything about me, I'm a RuneScape girly through and through. Like, grew up playing it, still love to revisit the old school version of it every now and then, and I just think that I'm gonna love it. Telling you a little bit more about like what's going on within our 2 main characters' lives, we have our female main character, Maggie, whose son just went away to college, so she is like an empty nester. I think she's divorced with her husband, and she has no interest in dating. She's sort of a hermit. She does like freelance editing, things like that. And our male main character is Aiden, who is a 50-year-old optimist going through some family drama. And what we just figured out is that he needs to find a date to a wedding that everyone in his family is going to be at, including his ex-fiance who is now with his brother. So obviously that's a little bit messy. I have gotten to chapter 5, which is only 13%. So I still have quite a ways to go, but I am immediately enjoying the writing. I like the setup of our main characters, and I don't know if I've read a romance where both of the main characters are in their late 40s, early 50s, and honestly I'm just excited to get into it a little bit more. And I'm now getting to the point where I think the online gaming guild is going to be introduced a little bit more, and I'm just really excited to see how that is written, how it plays out. So I'm just gonna get into it a little bit more, and I'll come back when I am a bit further. Close your eyes. Okay, hi, I've reached the 50% mark. It's been good. It's okay. Explain, Sydney. So we've definitely gotten to the point where they have met in real life. And I'm just, there's some hurdles that I'm having to get over. So for a good part of the beginning of the book, our main character Maggie, whose screen name is Bogwitch, so her nickname is Boggy, and that's so cute. There's a good chunk of the first half of the book that she thinks that Otter, who, my toast just got finished. I'm making a snack. Focus, Sydney. There's a good chunk of the first half of the book where Maggie thinks that Aiden, whose screen name is Otter, is like a young kid, because the vast majority of the people within this guild go to the community college. So she's just imagining that all of these people that she's playing with are like college age kids, and so there's no reason for her to think that Otter is any older than like 21. And I know how online games work, you know, like that's fine, but they like furthered their friendship, and like they were texting, like watching movies, like via text, like live texting through movies. And there's a situation where she ends up like bringing soup to him, and that's how they meet for the first time. And the thing is, one, Maggie is such a hermit, like antisocial, like doesn't want to go do anything. I find it very hard to believe that how her character has been written, that like we're just supposed to believe that she would just show up to some random person's house not knowing anything about them, like literally not knowing a single thing other than their screen name is Otter. I find that hard to believe, but the thing that really sort of rubbed me the wrong way was the fact that all of this kept happening, all of their like side hangouts, their texting, their everything, when she thought that he was literally like 20 or 21. And like, yes, it's still technically old enough to, you know, be an adult, but like boys are not adults when they're 20 or 21. And she is almost 50. You know, like I know age gap romance is like something that is fine most of the time. Like it's fine. I'm not hating on that, but 50 and 20 would have been like a pretty big gap. Let me just backtrack a little bit. There was nothing like sexual going on at all. They were like purely platonic, and they mentioned like this is a platonic thing. And I just like, that's, again, that's fine. And I think it's just like a person by person basis, you know, like the experiences that I've had in my personal life makes that situation just makes me a little bit uncomfortable. And it might not make you uncomfortable at all, and that's great. But me personally, that's how I like received that information in the book. And I don't know, I just didn't love the energy that I was receiving from the idea that they were perhaps, you know, taking their relationship further with that big of a gap. But obviously they are, you know, closer in real age, and we found that out, and everything seems to be fine from here on. Like their chemistry is really good. They're really comfortable together. I'm enjoying things now that we know that they know who they are. But there was a couple instances where I was just like, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem like how she would respond or act. However, I am enjoying it a little bit more now. I do wish there was a little bit more gameplay. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I was supposed to expect more gameplay, but those little tidbits that we're getting where they're like instant messaging and they're like going on dungeon raids and things, like that's fun. But yeah, so I am actively toasting some bread that I got from a local bakery. I'm going to put some, I don't know, Swiss cheese on it and have a snack. Caleb should be getting home in about like 40 minutes or so. I'm just gonna eat my snack and continue to read. Okay, hi. I actually wasn't planning on updating you until I finished the book, but I just made it to 70% and I have some feelings. So far, the second half of the book feels like a completely different vibe than the first half for me. So many things have happened in the last 20% that make me feel like almost completely different about the story. Like it was fine up until 50%, but from 50% up until now, like I'm really enjoying it. There's been really good like discussion and representation within our characters, and it's been really fun to follow Maggie and her point of view because she had a really bad marriage, and her kid's father was never like actually in the picture, and their relationship obviously was not good, and it made her so like upset and angry at the world of dating for so long that it's even surprising to her when she starts to like notice that she's catching feelings for, I almost said Otter, Aiden. So since it's taken me about half the book to really start enjoying my time thoroughly, I don't think that this is going to be 4 stars. And also because the writing is a little bit silly sometimes and uses the words like adorkable, like adorable plus like being a dork. I don't love that. But because of those things, like I don't think it's gonna be 4 stars, but I am really excited to finish the book since the last like 20% has been like a 180 from the first 50%. But yeah, so that's exciting. I'm glad it's starting to go a little bit better, but I'll let you know what my final rating and thoughts are once I finish. It'll be quick.
I'm by your side. Lay your head on my chest.
Hi, good morning. While drinking my morning coffee, I finished role playing, and I have some mixed feelings because I do like a lot of elements about the story. I think that it was cute. The 2 main characters' chemistry was written really well. I liked their banter, and I liked how they were written as separate characters and together. You know, like those 2 main characters, they were great. I have literally no problems with them at all. I loved how they cared for each other, supported each other. I love the queer rep that we got, as well as the like setting boundaries with family situation that we got. Like there was really good like conflict resolution. I mean, it's not even like completely resolved within the story, but like how the conflicts played out, I think was written really well. There is a lot about the book that I enjoyed, but there's something about it that didn't feel like as fluid as other books that I've read. I don't really know what it is. I don't know if it was like the trajectory of the story maybe, or the writing. I mean, but I liked the characterization, so I don't know if it's the writing, but there was something about the story itself that just like didn't feel like fluid, and I don't really know how else to describe it. On top of that, I do think the first 50% of the book was way less strong than the second 50%, and I kind of described that already, so I'm pretty torn on my rating. It's either going to be a 3.5 or a 4, which is still great. I think I would still recommend this book because again, the chemistry between them, phenomenal. Like I really loved them. There was just something that wasn't working for me for whatever reason. So by the end of this video, I'll tell you the official rating, whether it's 3.5 or 4. I kind of want to let it sit with me for a couple days, and I'll update you on the points by the end of the video. So we're going directly into the next book in this video, which is my 5-star prediction, okay? This is, I think that I could rate this 5 stars. This is my entry for this bracket, and it's going to be The Husbands by Hayley Gramazio. I love this cover. I love what this book is going to explore. It's basically about a main character who comes home to like a man who is supposedly her husband, and she's like, I don't remember marrying you, like what's going on? And there's like pictures and everything around the house that like support the idea that like this is her husband. And at some point he goes upstairs to change a light bulb in the attic, and who comes down is a completely different man, and the physical surroundings now show that like this new guy is her husband. And it's the idea that when confronted with so many choices, like how do you know you're on the right path, and how do you know that you've made the right decisions? I think that that idea is something that I think about often, just as like an existential thing, and I think that it could be a really fun romance book too. So I'm actually really excited about it. It's only 9:30 in the morning, so I have quite a lot of time to get into this book today. I feel like there are a couple like errands that I should be doing, but I don't know if I will. I really don't. I might just sit here and read all day. I work tomorrow, so I don't really want to do a whole lot. And this book is 338 pages, so like I could read this in a day. It'll totally depend on how like gripped I am and how much I'm able to focus, because let's be honest, attention span is a mixed bag for sure. But I'm gonna sit here and finish my coffee and get into this. Okay, I've gotten to page 78 of The Husbands, a good chunk, enough to kind of see what's going on and have some initial thoughts. I took some time to edit a short reel really quickly, and now I'm making a late breakfast, lunch, brunch. If you hear sizzling, it's the eggs. So I know I already kind of told you what the plot is, and so far we've been through quite a few husbands. Some of them have been like sort of silly and funny, and others, one in particular was like a little bit like sad and scary, because it's sort of giving her a glimpse into all of the different, not only husbands that she could have, but lifestyles and situations that she could be in herself. I'm really, really liking the writing. I'm immediately gripped, and I really don't want to stop reading, so I'm just gonna keep reading until I don't want to anymore today. I've decided that I'm not gonna go do any chores and just read until I don't want to read anymore. We have enough groceries to get us through at least the next 2 days, I think. Maybe. Unless my guilt settles in even harder than it already is actively, I'm not gonna leave the house. But okay, I'm making a little egg breakfast sandwich. I have an everything bagel. I got some jam. I got some farmer's market cheese and some eggs. That's what's happening. I'm gonna keep reading, but I'm loving everything about it. Every single thing about it. It's sort of eerie too, and like I'm like oddly on edge, because as soon as she finds someone that I from the outside enjoy her being with, I'm like, oh my god, like he's just gonna go up in the attic and then disappear, and then everything's gonna change. And it's crazy because it's not just her life that's changing, like her sister's life has changed in one of the situations where it was a new husband. Like I'm already so invested. I'm already so invested in like every single character that we're meeting, even the fake husbands. I don't know, I really like the idea around this book, and I really like how it's being told. I am very excited to continue, so I'm going to. My sandwich was great. I'm still hungry. But if you don't know, I've been selling books on Pango for a bit, and therefore purchasing books on Pango for a bit. I just got a shipment, quick little book haul. Look at the wrapping. Is this not the cutest thing ever? Thank you, Mike. The little smiley face is my favorite part. I remember what at least one of these books are that I purchased. Oh, that's right. It's all coming back. So cute that this was wrapped. In the first episode of this book series, I read Beartown by Frederick Bachman, and I am now obsessed. And so I got the second book in the series, Us Against You. I'll be picking it up soon. Just no words. Phenomenal book. Can't wait to continue. So I got Us Against You. I also got Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher because I liked the Dreamland Billionaire series like enough. I liked the fine print, and the other two books in that trilogy were okay. I would be interested to try out her new series. So this was pretty cheap on Pango, so I decided to purchase it. I think it's like a similar vibe. This is Lakefront Billionaires. Cute little romance moment. And then I also got Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I think it's a sin that I haven't read John Green and I live in the same city as him. And I know that this got turned into a movie, is being turned into a movie, a TV show, something like that. I honestly couldn't tell you anything about what this book is about, but I know I've always been intrigued by the cover. And again, I just like, it was in the same seller storefront. In order to hit the free shipping, it was like you only need $5 more spent. So here, $5. it'd be pointless to spend $5 on shipping when I could get free shipping and get another book instead. Girl math. So I got these 3 books. I'm happy about it. Caleb also got a new eye prescription and his new contacts are here, so we're very excited about that. They said his eyes are very healthy. What a good boy. Not much has happened otherwise. I've only read like 15 more pages, but that's it. I'll come back soon. Also, my hyperfixation did win and I am getting groceries, but I'm ordering groceries. Listen, I'm not leaving the house, okay? It's just not gonna happen. At least I'm doing it, okay?
I know you've had a really bad day, but I'm right here, it's gonna be okay.
I did it. For the first time in this series, I got a 5-star. Guys, this book was so great. I'm actually really surprised that I just like sat here and read it in a single sitting, basically. There's just something about it. The writing was really good, the story was really gripping, and I don't like time loops, but this wasn't even necessarily a time loop because each new husband that she got was like a new story, and it was really exciting. Hi, Abby. Hi, baby. Oh. There were a couple people or husbands that got brought up a couple times, like in multiple different ways. And there was one in particular that was like really rich, and the way that he and his house kept coming into play was a little bit weird. I think that was like a convenient choice to have that be something that came up multiple times. I'm being vague to avoid spoilers, but if you've read it, then you probably know what I mean. But the friend that she made along the way, I loved his arc, and I think that his storyline ended like perfectly. When I first finished this book, I was like, oh, what about so-and-so? But I truly like wouldn't change anything. Like, I don't think that I would have preferred any of these storylines to be any different. I think this was a really solid book. I kind of love it. Not kind of, like I do. I do. I love this book. I don't think that I would like consider it time travel, but the like magic part of this book is sort of similar to time travel in a way that there aren't any like super set rules, or there's not clear guidelines of how this magic works. There are a couple set rules, but it's not overly or well explained, so we just kind of have to take it for what it is, and I don't mind that in this situation. I don't necessarily know how like accurate or true this is because this is purely just a subjective feeling that I have, but this book reminded me of like an Emily Henry book mixed with Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. And I don't know if I have any like logical reasons why I feel that way, other than it's like a feeling. It's just how the characters, world, and plot was written and executed. It just reminds me of those two authors. So I don't know, take that for what you will, but baby, we got a 5-star. We got a 5-star. Finally, I can maybe catch up a little bit in this ranking, because if you don't know, I've been suffering in the ranking. But that being said, we have one more book for this video, and I might start it tonight. I don't know. It's getting to that time where Caleb and I are going to do our evening routine, walk Avi, cook dinner, you know, those good things. So I might just play some Switch or something. We'll see. So next time I see you, I will be introducing the final book of this episode, and it is going to be my patron's pick. Wait, I didn't even like tell you about some of my favorite things. Hold on. I already put the book on the shelf that I have when I like finished a book for the month. The theme of being happy with what you have and not necessarily settling, because you shouldn't like settle, but when overwhelmed with the possibility of choices, like you're never going to completely be happy. Like there's science behind that, like if you're given like 3 options on say whatever rug you want for your living room, no matter which one you choose, you're going to think, man, but what if this other rug was better? What if that one actually looked better with the throw pillows or something, you know? And this book did such a phenomenal job of talking about that concept. And just to close out this book, I wanted to share my favorite quote, because our main character Lauren and her husband at that particular time were at a wedding, and okay. Oh fuck, I just found it. I just gave up and then I just saw my little like annotation. There it is. It's on page 95. Everyone get out your copies. She was just talking about how the couple that was getting married, she said they seem certain and happy and they're making a decision even though nobody can ever really be sure about anything. And everything in this world is always falling apart. For so early in the book, I just really loved that little thought. I loved it so much that I texted it to Caleb because I needed him to know that I love him and I choose him every day, and it's just really true. You know, nothing's ever certain. You never know what's going to be around the corner, but you know, just be happy with what you have, that sort of thing. And I just think Holly Gramazio did a lovely job at talking about that concept in such a fun and inventive way. I love how the book ended. I could rant and rave about it. I could. Whatever. Cute quote, cute book, 5 stars. Okay, I'll see you when I pick up the next book.
It's gonna be okay. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. If all the blue skies fade to gray, we're gonna be okay.
What are you doing? Hi. Hi, good morning. Yesterday I obviously worked and I did get to read on my break. I got 50 pages into the next book in this book. 50 pages into the next book in this vlog, which is Interesting Facts About Space by Emily Austin. This one is my Patreon pick, specifically from Daryan. And so far, I'm kind of in love with it. Okay, like right off the bat, I'm getting really, really good vibes from it. I'm loving how the story's written. It's a little bit more like linear now, but in the beginning, there were little like, hold on, let me find. Like you see these little stars? Like every single little break was almost like a different thought, like a different like stream of consciousness, but less meandery than stream of consciousness. It was like a focused stream of consciousness thought that was going on with our main character. Like there was so many in the beginning. It made me feel like I was reading so quickly because they're not necessarily chapters, but those breaks just made it feel like it was going by really, really quickly. And I made it to page 50 yesterday and I am, again, enjoying it. We're following our main character Enid, and I think this is mostly just like a slice of life, like a look in the human condition sort of story. She as a main character has some like trauma that we don't know about yet, but we're getting little glimpses into. Like specifically, she's very scared of bald men. And whenever she's stressed, she will call her mom and tell her interesting facts about space because she works at the space station as like something with information. So she knows all of these fun space facts. And it's kind of like her way of de-escalating some sort of panic attack that she's getting. I think that that's a really cute idea. I love the idea of just like calling your mom and just telling them interesting facts about space. And her mom just accepts it. Like she doesn't ask questions. She just kind of like furthers the conversation like, oh, that's really interesting. Like, why is this way? Or what do you think about this? Like, I don't know. It's really like wholesome. And Enid is also like very frequent on like the dating apps. She is just meeting women left and right for just short periods of time. And I've never actually read the synopsis in its entirety, but it says when she unwittingly plunges into her first romantic entanglement, Enid starts to believe that someone is following her. As her paranoia spirals out of control, she must contend with her mounting suspicion that something is seriously wrong with her, because at the end of the day, there's only one person she can't outrun, herself. Already, we're starting to see that paranoia, like only 50 pages in. Well, one, her new neighbor is bald, and so she's like literally crawling in and out of her window instead of going in her door. Why am I paranoid? Like, why do I keep seeing someone in the window? Stop, Sydney. And she thinks a coat in her apartment is a person. Like, I mean, we all do that from time to time. At least I hope we all do. Think that we see something out of the corner of our eye, right? But it's becoming more frequent already in this plot. And just so far, I'm loving the writing. I'm thinking that it's going to be similar to Ripe by Sarah Rose Etter, but maybe a little less dark than that one. I'm feeling really good about it. And I hope to finish it, if not tonight, then tomorrow morning. It is noon right now. I have to leave to get these nails fixed. My chrome butter is finally falling off. It's starting to catch on my hair when I wash it, you know, and I hate that. I'm shipping a Pango order. Someone bought Chouette off of my Pango book front. So I have these little stickers that I include, and then I'm going to package it up. Gonna ship this Pango order and get my nails done. I want to go to a bookstore so bad, but I know that all next month in July, I will be reading predominantly off my Kindle because we're going on vacation and I'm not gonna bring a bunch of books. I'm going to just bring my Kindle because we are literally traveling on the other side of the world with just a carry-on and our personal item. Like this, it's going to be very difficult for me to pack, and I physically cannot bring any books. I have to just bring my Kindle, which is going to be fine. But that being said, I can't go to a bookstore. It would just make me sad, you know? It would just make me sad. I actually got this all done faster than I thought I would, so I'm going to go to the post office first and then get my nails done, which is great. I'll probably get a coffee afterwards and then come home and walk Avi and continue the book. So far, so good.
My hand, don't let go. I understand. I know it hurts. It fall down, it's gonna be okay.
I know full well that I said that I wasn't going to stop at the bookstore, but I stopped at the bookstore. My first words, because I'm friends with most of the booksellers there, I was like, I shouldn't be here. And I shouldn't have my lunch. But there were so many good releases that just came out. I made some purchases. Plus, okay, listen, my maiden name is Morrow, and if you didn't know, that's why my username is spelled this way, bookworm, because it's Morrow backwards and it kind of looks like bookworm. If you didn't know, that's the origin of it. And the bookstore is Tomorrow Bookstore. So I don't know if this person that sent me this ARC thought that I owned the bookstore, but they sent an ARC to the bookstore with my name on it. And they had messaged me like months ago and they were like, hey, you got sent a book. I don't know how it happened, but I have an ARC from Penguin Random House. Like they have my full name and then the address of the bookstore. Like, I don't know. The ARC is A Wilder Shore by Camille Perry. The Romantic Odyssey of Fanny and Robert Louis Steven. I love this little like tropical bottom though. Tropical bottom, that sounds funny. Okay, it says it's a love story and adventure story. Sorry, Avi's eating food right now. If you hear that, I'm so sorry. She only eats at 2 different times of the day. When it's inconvenient or at 11 p.m., which is also inconvenient. So she only eats when it's inconvenient. Okay, it's a love story and adventure story. 2 literary biographies in 1. A Wilder Shore is These Things and More. Cute. It's very, very good. That was a quote from Roddy Doyle, Booker Prize award-winning author. It's a portrait of 2 extraordinary people and a testament to the power of love to foster the human spirit. A Wilder Shore unfolds with all the richness and complexity of a timeless epic, capturing the resilience, courage, and devotion that sparked from some of our most celebrated and enduring literary masterpieces. So is it like historical fiction? What is this? Is it like a real thing? Oh! Okay, I know that my food's done. Rude. I'm not ready to eat yet. Oh my god, wait. Okay, so Louis Stevenson is the author of Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I didn't know that, but it's about these 2 people. He was ambitious but drifting writer from a prominent Scottish family. She was a tough Nevada silver miner's wife with children when they met. And then they go on to create one of history's great literary marriages. Okay, very cool. Let me, oh, it only has 4 ratings on Goodreads. Okay, yeah, so it's shelved as biography history. I think it's kind of odd that it got sent to me because, you know, I don't read a whole ton of things like this on my channel, but I'm grateful for it and it sounds really interesting. But yeah, so I got sent this randomly, which I thought was really great and kind of hilarious when I got that message. But okay, the book, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 books. I really shouldn't have, but here we are. I don't know what to tell you. This one I just saw in Kayla's vlog and I couldn't believe that I saw it in person so soon after I just watched one of her videos. And once I read the synopsis, there was no question about it. Plus the cover is just stellar. It's called Woodworm by Layla Martinez. Look at this cover, please. And it's like just a hardback. So this is like printed directly on it. Like this might go down as one of my favorite covers I've ever seen. It is translated by Sophie Hughes and Annie McDermott. It says, "The house breathes. The house holds bodies and secrets. The house is visited by ghosts, by angels that line the roof like insects, and by saints that burn the bed sheets with their halos." Hello? Built long ago by a small-time hustler to control his wife, the house won't let their daughter and her grandmother leave. When the mysterious disappearance of a boy draws unwanted attention, these 2 shut-ins, are they witches or are they simply enraged, combine forces with spirits that haunt them in pursuit of something that resembles justice. In this lush translation, Layla Martinez's eerie debut novel is a class-conscious horror that drags generations of monsters into the sun. Okay. You're telling me I wasn't supposed to buy that? Get out of here. Get out of here. This one was a impulse purchase. I kind of couldn't say no again, okay? Slug and Other Stories by Megan Milks. It says, "A gory and gorgeous mess." Love. I think it would be fun to do like a short story vlog or something like that. And this one just sounds really interesting. It says, a woman metamorphs into a giant slug. Another quite literally eats her heart out. A wasp falls in love with an orchid, and hair starts sprouting from the walls. These stories slip and slide between mediums, from video games to fan fiction, body horror to choose your own adventure, as characters cycle through giddying changes in gender, physiology, species, and identity. Finally back in print, Slug and Other Stories is a revised edition of the author's debut collection, and a testament to the messy anthologic of queer feelings by a revelatory new voice. I adore it. I love it. I bought it, and I really want to read it. Then I got Housemates by Emma Copley Eisenberg. It sounds like exactly the type of like literary fiction that I love to read. It's about two young housemates embarking on a road trip to discover themselves. I only read the first little part of the synopsis because that's all I needed to be sold. This is what it says. When Bernie replies to Leah's ad for a new housemate in Philadelphia, the two begin an intense and defiantly yeah, that's how you say it. The two begin an intense and defiantly uncategorizable friendship. I feel like that's not how you say that. A friendship that cannot be categorized based on a mutual belief in their art and each other. Both aspire to capture the world around them. Leah through her writing, Bernie through her photography. And the fact that they are going on a road trip together, I think it'll be really insightful. I think it'll be really beautiful, and I love the cover. I bought it. And of course, I got Akwaeke Emezi's new book, Little Rot. It's on my like most anticipated releases of the year. It's basically about Ima and Kalu, who just broke up. Kalu was reeling from the breakup, visits an exclusive sex party hosted by his best friend Ahmed, and he makes a decision that will plunge them all into chaos, brutally and suddenly upending their lives. Ola and Soraya, two Nigerian sex workers visiting from Kuala Lumpur, collide into the scene just as everything goes to hell. Sucked into the city's corrupt and glittering underworld, they're all looking for a way out, fueled by a desperate need to escape the dangerous threat that looms over them. I've loved everything that they've written, and I think that this one will be no different. I also picked up Rylee Sager's new book, Middle of the Night. I'm really stoked about this one, and it's a signed copy. That's fun. I've become a Rylee Sager stan. I'm not gonna lie. I've been converted, and I'm so into this lime green. Like, it's also on the other book that I got, The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. Really loving the green. I actually made my June bullet journal spread this green unknowingly. I've been influenced. I think this is a phenomenal little haul. I'm really excited about them. Should it have happened today? No, probably not. Do I regret it? No. Am I gonna hide this stack from Caleb for a little bit? Yeah, I am. Oh, there's a local artist that was selling prints in the shop, and I love what I got. Oh my God, look it. It's a little rabbit tooting a horn over a castle. It's gonna be perfect for the gallery wall that I'm creating for my library. I can't handle how much I love this. And then this one, it reminded me of Avi. Look at this little hellhound. Tell me it's not Avi. Tell me it's not. You can't, because it is. I love it. Hush, I'm not ready. But I think that that's all that I got. Oh, also my nails. Wow. Can we look? Look at, like, literally how amazing is that? I love them. I got chrome last time for that yellow, the chrome butter, you know? And now I'm just kind of obsessed with chrome. And I think that it's all I'm gonna be doing for a while. And I love this color. Okay, what a great day. What a time to be alive. I have to film. I forgot about that until now. By the time you're seeing this video, it's well into July, but I have to go film my July TBR right now. I have no idea what it's going to entail because I'll be on vacation when this video comes out. I have been listening to interesting facts about space while, you know, walking Avi and doing all the normal day-to-day things. Let's see how far I am now. I'm still only on chapter 5, which there's 14 total chapters. I don't know if I have anything like new to say other than I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm excited to sit down and read it soon as well, because there's been a lot of really good like little quippy and quotable moments that I am really enjoying. So I hope to read more later tonight as well as tomorrow morning. So I will come update you later because I've been talking for 18 minutes. Oh my God. We're gonna be okay. Hi, hello. I've been really bad at vlogging, like verbally speaking vlogging today. Caleb had an unexpected day off, so we spent a couple hours this morning playing tennis, which is why I'm really sunburned. It was really cloudy, and then it all of a sudden wasn't, and I never put on sunscreen because I was silly. I'm sitting down now. I'm doing reading spurts with my patrons, and I'm finally getting into interesting facts about space. I don't think I'm gonna end up finishing it today like I had planned, because part of my day also, after we were done playing tennis, was spent editing this Sunday's video, which is my Spin the Bottle TBR for July. So I'm not mad about it. We had a good day together. I'm glad that we were able to spend today together since I work all weekend. So, you know, decided to be present instead of locking myself away in my reading chair and not speaking to him. So hopefully next time that I come on here, I will have either finished the book or have gotten much further and have more interesting things to say. But right now, I've only read like 5 pages since I've sat down. So that being said, I'll see you soon. Hi, hello. It has been a couple days, but I am here to close out the video, give you my final review and rating on Interesting Facts About Space by Emily Austin. This episode is the most difficult one by far. I think I know what I'm gonna be doing at the end, but it's not an easy choice because Interesting Facts About Space is either a 4.5 or a 5 star. My gut tells me that it's a 5 star. So that's what I'm gonna give it in terms of points for this video series. There's just something about it that I just absolutely adore. Emily Austin will be an author that I read from more. I think that I am just so intrigued by everything that she did with this story. I think I already compared this book to Ripe by Sarah Rose Etter. I feel like I did. It's been a few days. But there's just something about the way that this story is written from Enid's point of view where it just feels like we're talking to her. It feels like we're just hanging out in a cozy living room, curled under our like cozy pro-sensory blankets, and we're just listening to her tell us this story. It just felt so real, and all of these characters that we're introduced to are so flawed in their own ways, but not always to a detriment. I loved the sort of like messy relationships that she was having, situationships maybe, her journey through therapy, her journey with her mother. The mother-daughter relationship in this book was a lot. I mean, I don't know what could adequately describe how I feel about it because it was hard to read sometimes, you know, it's sad because her mom struggles with mental illness, so does she, but there were so many amazing moments between the two of them. And man, I truly did love how the story was written, everything. I keep just like wanting to tell you different things, not in like very non-linear ways, and I'm sorry, but bear with me. The way that Enid's paranoia started like ramping up basically, and we're seeing all of these things that she's like living through, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, I'd be freaked out too. What the hell is going on? Finding out her past and why she is sort of handling things the way that she's handling things. I love her strong personality. I love the mental illness and neurodivergent representation that we get in this book. And I love that Enid had a YouTube channel when she was a kid. Like, I know that it didn't stem from a very like I don't know if I can say a healthy place because she was trying to just let it be her outlet, which in a way, you know, she was coping the way that she knew how to cope with how she was being raised. So I just loved it. I loved so much. I loved so much about it. And I think that I would give it 5 stars and I would recommend it, especially if Ripe by Sarah Rose Etter is a little bit too heavy for you with those trigger warnings. Like, I would definitely say that you would be safe reading this one in comparison because they touch on similar topics, but this one is a little bit more lighthearted and has an overall feeling of like, I don't know, warmness. So let's close out this video and talk about points and who won this round because at the beginning of this video, before reading any of these 3 books, the points were me 4 points, Patreon 8 points, and YouTube 8.5 points. So I'm just trailing behind. But with this one, okay, my pick was the husband's, 5 stars. Patreon, The Greenhouse, their book, Interesting Facts About Space, 5 stars. And then YouTube, your guys' recommendation, role playing, I'm settling on 3.5 stars. So that brings the new totals to me, 9, my favorite number, Patreon, 13, and YouTube, 12. So don't write me off yet. I'm still in the running. It's still a close call. There's still quite a few more episodes to go. So it's anyone's game. And now, in terms of the bracket. I know in my heart which one I liked the most, and the one that wins out of these 3 books is The Husbands. Interesting Facts About Space is a very close second, obviously, but the discussions in The Husbands and all of the main characters, I truly just love that book wholeheartedly. Just like I do with this one, but I think the writing, oh my god, like the writing in both books are so phenomenal, but I just connected more with The Husbands. And overall just have like that more visceral feeling of like, that's the book. You know how sometimes like a rating or a feeling about a book in comparison to another is just sort of like it's a thing that you just know. And so the way I feel about The Husbands is a little bit more intense than Interesting Facts About Space. So that's where I'm at, and I am just loving this journey. I hope that you all are having a good time following along. That is the end of this episode though, so good work everybody. The next one I think is going to be the fantasy episode, so I will see you so soon. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. If you are still watching, then leave me the light bulb emoji down below in the comments, and while you're down there, please do subscribe and like the video. I always appreciate your support, and of course, be kind to one another, and happy reading. Bye!